Guys, 3 weeks ago I brought you the unboxing of this fantastic phone. What is it? It's the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren Edition. Today we're here for a 3-week update.
And I'm here to give you it.
Back in a few seconds. What's up YouTube, Dave here with Seen Through a Lens, and thanks for stopping by the channel. And if you haven't stopped by here before, please be sure to click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon so you can be notified of new videos. So guys, today I'm here with Bradley, shout out to Dammit Bradley, and we're going to just talk through the 3 weeks living with this phone, the OnePlus T7 Pro McLaren Edition. So, tell me in a nutshell, give me some statistics, battery life, how's that?
So battery life, so for me at least, I can't lie, I have it in my pocket most of the day. Although when I do use it, it doesn't seem to drain as much as other videos and other people seem to say. I do have my screen resolution set to UHD instead of QHD, just because for me when I'm playing like games or using that 90Hz screen, which is very, very good. Kind of spoiled with that 90Hz, but when I'm using it with QHD and 90Hz, it does seem to jitter a bit and kind of lose that refresh rate and then kind of come back, which when you're at least playing games, it does kind of get annoying after a while, but definitely UHD seems to be the way to go on that.
Have you noticed any problems? I've had a few comments about the theme not being right or anything like that. So a couple of people have said they've had this out of the box, the McLaren theme's not there, and they've asked me what I think they should do. I mean, I've given it the whole, just reset it and hope for the best. Maybe something just didn't go right. I mean, have you noticed anything strange with any of the theme or anything like that? So
McLaren Edition, at least, definitely you get the whole shebang out of the box. I don't think with the basic OnePlus 7T Pro you will get the McLaren Edition. I think it's literally just exclusive for that one.
So kind of built into the firmware, and
yeah,
that's kind of it. You can't download any APK or anything like that in order to...
No, it's like a one-off, just exclusive.
So guys, if you've got the OnePlus 7T Pro and not the McLaren Edition, pretty much you're not going to be able to install the features of this. Certainly not yet anyway, until some hacker perhaps has got out there and written something. So but anyway guys, if anyone out there is watching this and has been able to install any of the themes or anything from the McLaren Edition onto the standard OnePlus 7T Pro, let us know in the comments section below. So what about the overall usability? So in terms of any glitchiness to the UI, is it smooth? Does the Android, because it's using Android 10, right? So yeah. What is that again? That's
so Android 10.0 Oxygen.
So tell me a little bit about the size, because a few people criticise this for being a little bit bigger than the OnePlus 6T, and in general phones are kind of getting a lot bigger. So what about usability? One hand, two hand? How's that been?
It's definitely a two-handed phone. I can 100% confirm that. It does feel a bit bulky, but that's mainly because of the case and that kind of finish on the back. It makes it all look really nice. And what else can I say? The kind of its biggest benefit is also its biggest disadvantage, because you do out of the box get that really lovely case and an amazing kind of back on the phone, but you're kind of don't want to risk. So if I take this out real quick, as thin as holding this is, you really don't want to damage this back here, because this is just like a work of art essentially. And even if you do want to kind of hold the phone, you don't mind that, you don't want to get rid of this because this feels so nice to hold and it grabs so many eyes. Can't tell you how many people I've just kind of been walking around minding my own business with headphones in, and you can see people look from miles away just to stare at this, like just because it shines in the brightness.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I think when we looked at the unboxing a few weeks ago and we got all this stuff out of the box, it truly was something spectacular to look at. So OnePlus, you've done a fantastic job with the look and feel. What about the ergonomics in the hand? Again, I had one comment in the comments box say that it was really tricky to hold because it was very angular, but, you know, how does that stack up?
With this case, especially with this kind of material on the side, it's easy to hold in one hand. It's just you don't want to type with one hand. It's more kind of struggle and pain than when it's worth. So yeah, it's really comfortable to hold in two hands. If you're holding it like this, if you're holding it sideways, it does kind of start draining your kind of finger after a while. It starts to feel very heavy. This goes without saying. Kind of phones these days aren't really getting lighter, they're getting a lot heavier, especially with those bigger batteries.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a lot easier to hold in two hands than one.
Okay, cool. So I guess the question that everyone's going to be asking is on the cameras. Now this has got three cameras, so it's a wide angle, a normal and a telephoto lens camera, or three cameras. So, you know, OnePlus have been, I mean, I remember the early OnePlus days. I mean, I had a OnePlus X, which I absolutely loved, gave it away, regretted giving it away, but beautiful phone. The only thing that let it down was the camera. The camera was terrible. So tell me, how do the cameras stack up? How has OnePlus kind of evolved through the cameras? I mean, these days we're buying mobile phones for cameras, right? 1, 2, 3. So how does that stack up?
Definitely compared to the 6T, it's a knockout the park. That 6T camera was absolutely garbage. Yeah, the 6T camera was absolutely garbage. Literally, I went from an iPhone 10 to a 6T, and I used to take pictures all the time. And as soon as I went to the 6T, I just completely stopped taking pictures. There was absolutely no use in using that camera. It was just a blur. In dark lights, it would just kind of flash from red to blue, trying to kind of capture that kind of medium, but it never seemed to get there. But this one, they've completely scrapped the old system and redone the whole camera system, and it's just absolutely amazing now.
So happy?
Yeah, more than happy, especially from going from kind of having one phone that does everything, and then you go to the OnePlus 6T, and then you want to end up kind of walking around with another camera just because this one's literally embarrassing to use. I had people tell me, like, when I was sending them a picture, like, what on earth is wrong with your camera? That's how bad the 6T camera was. And now this one, they're like, oh my god, the quality of this camera, like, I can see so many like definitions of a picture. Like,
People are so picky, aren't they? I mean, these are just supposed to be point and shoot, but now, we're getting professional grade photography out of smartphone cameras. I mean, it's crazy. So you feel that price point worth the money?
100%. I mean, I can't believe that iPhone's 1,050.
So in terms of value for money, this is, it's an Android phone, OnePlus. These guys were actually very cost effective when they first started bringing mobile phones to the market. They were truly disruptive in the market with the price point. So now the phone prices are kind of creeping up. Would you say this phone is still value for money?
100%. I mean, you're always going to have that argument between Apple and Android. And especially for this phone, you're at a really competitive price, even against Samsung. I mean, apart from wireless charging, it's pretty much neck and neck for everything there. Wireless charging still isn't at that kind of peak where it's efficient. It's still quite slow, especially if your phone does have a really large battery. So, like for this, even you have the quick warp charge.
So really, I guess, wireless charging is slow. I mean, I've got some wireless chargers, and you kind of think that it's convenient, and it is to just pop something down, but actually to just pop it down or to, plug a cable in, it isn't really that much of a hassle to do either. So in terms of the OnePlus guys, they've not really switched into wireless charging yet. They're really now about the speed of charging. So this has got the warp charger, and what would you say? I mean, I think the specs kind of say you're going to get 80% of the battery in like 20 minutes or something like that. I mean, what have you found in terms of, charging time? I mean, what's your sort of normal charging routine?
So my charging routine would usually be, if I'm not working, I would kind of just leave it on the side. I wouldn't charge it overnight. I'd wake up, maybe 20-40% left, just plug it into charge, go have a quick shower, about 15-20 minutes, come back and it'll already be surpassed 70%, and that's just in a really short period of time, which is, to me, just mind-blowing, like that it can charge that quick. I have read a lot, and to be honest, my personal experience, I have seen it a lot. It would charge to 70% like super fast, and then it kind of takes its foot off the gas and just kind of slows down for that last 30%. So kind of usability is really good. If you're planning to head out just to like the cinema or go shopping and you have a low battery, you just plug it in, do some few bits, get yourself ready, take it out and go. You can literally be out for the whole day on just that 70% and then come back. Not a problem at all.
Fantastic. So, I mean, I guess, the whole wireless charging thing, it's funny because, with iPhone, they didn't really go down that road for a while, and they came under a lot of criticism from the likes of Samsung, who were really kind of leading the pack with this type of thing. And I mean, I've got a whole bunch of wireless chargers, but quite frankly, I mean, I am unfortunately using the iPhone. Yeah. And I'm using the iPhone. I switch around. I've had all manner of devices, but at the moment I'm kind of enjoying the iPhone. But it's not an iPhone video, right? So it's a OnePlus video. Yeah. So the thing is that and for a while they didn't have wireless charging, and yet they come under a lot of criticism and all the rest of it. So they put in wireless charging. But if you wanted fast charging, you had to buy the fast charge cable and the fast charge brick and all the rest of it. And then now, it's all in the box now. But, for a while, it was like catch up. These guys have kind of been putting fast charging in the box for quite some time, because they had the dash charger before the warp charger. And then I think the OnePlus 6T McLaren Edition had a warp charger. But I believe that this warp charger is even faster. Would that be fair to say?
Yes. So I believe this one is called the Warp Charge 30T, which is even faster than fast. I mean, we're going at sonic speeds at this point. There is a few other kind of phones on the market right now that do have that kind of same charge speed, but I mean, OnePlus is kind of at its pinnacle right now OnePlus is kind of known for its kind of super fast charging.
So, in order to summarise, what would you say your top 5 things?
So definitely top 1 is that 90 Hertz kind of refresh rate on that screen. It's just kind of too good to be true, essentially. So at home, my computer or my monitor is 144 Hertz. So I'm already used to kind of getting like that good FPS, and then having a 90 Hertz phone to go with it, or just kind of being out and about using that. Even if it's just on the menu, it just feels so smooth, so quick. Makes kind of your whole life a lot quicker. It kind of just makes like the phone really. I mean, I know some phones are starting to get to that 90 Hertz now, but I mean, that is an absolutely amazing feature just to have. Literally, even whether it's apps, games, whatever you're doing on that phone, having 90 Hertz just makes the whole kind of experience feel so much more kind of rewarding.
So no gimmick, it's real, properly useful.
Yeah, 100%. Although, as I said before, on that QHD, it does kind of jitter ever so slightly, but switch the setting instead of having it on best performance and you'll have no problems whatsoever.
So cool, the 90 Hertz display refresh rate, right?
Yeah.
So what about number 2?
So battery life, as I said, switch off that QHD. You don't need it. It's not that dramatic of a difference. I mean, I know you're paying for all these specs at the end of the day, but you're not losing too much on reducing that resolution ever so slightly. So battery life, as I said, it's gonna go. Most phones, they survive maximum a day anyway, but I mean, if you charge it, you can go out, have no problems whatsoever, pop back home, charge it for like 5-10 minutes, you'll still have enough battery life just to go on for like at least 3 or 4 hours.
So that's number 2. And what about number 3?
Just the simplicity. I mean, I know it's kind of from Android Oxygen as well, but just kind of using navigation, kind of getting around, very simple. So compared to what I originally had was the iPhone, I didn't want to kind of move to Android because I didn't want to kind of risk that simplicity that the iPhone had. But kind of coming to OnePlus, I mean, that Oxygen kind of OS skin is really nice, really kind of simple. I mean, so my dad has a Huawei P30, and if you look at his apps compared to mine, his all chunky, blocky, looks absolutely horrible. Whereas this one's just very simple, very nice to look at.
Aesthetically pleasing, I think.
That's the word.
Is that what we call it? Yeah, okay. What about number 4 then?
So again, that camera, absolutely amazing. They completely redesigned, or not redesigned, they just kind of redid their crappy cameras and actually, you know, invested in what is actually a really good camera system now. Because you have the macro lens, you have your wide angle and your kind of normal camera. And all 3 of them you can use within a day with no problems. Very simple to use.
And number 5?
So that display, as you're probably all aware, you have a little pop-up camera when you go to use it. So for me, I use that pop-up camera to unlock it, but beyond the phone or beyond the lock screen, you have that whole screen, top to bottom, no edges whatsoever, and it's just amazing to look at, amazing like to play games on, amazing to watch videos. Absolutely, just kind of, they've knocked out the park. I mean, I know there has been a few leaks for the OnePlus 8 and they're kind of going to that punch hole camera, same as Samsung, but honestly I'd probably still stay with this. So I'm in love with that whole display. I don't really want to go to a punch hole camera. At the end of the day, it might be a punch hole camera. It's still taking you away from that full display, which
okay, yeah, interesting.
I kind of really like.
Interesting, yeah. So I mean, I didn't ask the question, but I do want to ask the question. I mean, I had the OnePlus 6T and the fingerprint sensor was a little bit sketchy. So I mean, is the fingerprint sensor, and actually I don't think it was biometric as well. So, I mean, is the fingerprint sensor biometric now? Has it got any better? So can you use that to authorise payments and things like that?
It will, or when you go to pay, it will ask you, you know, do you want to set up one press or one touch payment? You say yes. And then every time you go to like the App Store, if you're paying for like food or something, I do it all the time.
Important.
You just press the thumb on, done. It's gone through.
So and is it responsive now? Because it was a little bit like get your finger on exactly the right spot, everything before.
So for my experience at least, I mean, it could be different for you, but my experience, yeah, I kind of take my time doing all the edges of my fingerprint probably more than is healthy. But yeah, it works seamlessly for me. I don't seem to ever have any problems. I do suggest, as also OnePlus recommend, if you ever change your screen protector, or because this one's a film which comes straight out of the box, by the way. So yeah, this one's just a film, but I also on the 60 I had a glass or tempered glass one, and they recommend you just kind of redo that fingerprint every single time you change that screen protector, just because the screen protectors are all different thicknesses, and some glass ones, they might, you know, be a bit reflective here and there, especially if, you know, the sensor is under all this glass. So yeah, just, you know, redo your fingerprint each time, have no problems.
Cool. And you know, I guess as you well know, all the reviews, everything I bring you is stuff that's generally bought with my money. This time, this was bought with his money, but we're still giving an honest, genuine review. And in order to do that, I have to ask you, what about the cons? there must be a few things here that perhaps you dislike about the phone now that you've had it for, I don't know, 3 weeks-ish.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, nothing's ever going to be perfect. You can only try to get it, you know, less bad than it could be. But number one, 100%, the noise of the pop-up camera. I'm more than happy to have a pop-up camera, but, you know, if I can get it close to this microphone. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear that, but I'm that lazy that I don't want to use my thumb, so I just use the face unlock. But that sound, after a while, it just gets really irritating. I mean, I haven't had any problems of getting like hair or stuff like lodged in, but again, that motor, they did say that they reduced the sound of it, so God knows what the 7 Pro sounded like, but yeah, that sound is very, very like annoying and irritating after a while.
Okay. What else?
The volume, I would say, isn't as loud as like say an iPhone, especially now. I'd say it's about 5 or 10% probably quieter. See, I tend to listen to my music very loud in the shower just because personal preference. I enjoy listening to music. I've been drawn more to actually using a speaker instead, just because it doesn't actually get too loud for me. Not as loud as I'd ideally want it to be. So that speaker could always be improved, I'd say.
Okay, cool. Anything else you think you know, not maybe dislike, might be a bit of a strong word, but you know, just anything else that you know, you've kind of discovered that isn't as you might have expected it?
So the phone aside, I mean, the phone is like, at the end of the day, very good, and there is the kind of, there is its downfalls, which I've already mentioned, but other than that, the only kind of critique I'd have is that Android 10, so how it's kind of ported to the OnePlus 70 Pro. For me at least, the first thing is that kind of new navigation of using new gestures, 100%. It did take me like at least 2 days to get used to kind of swiping from the side of the screen to go back, but initially what I had on the 6T would be you'd swipe from the left side just to go back, but now you're just kind of swiping from wherever you want on the side of that phone. So initially what I would usually do on the 6T would be I would go on an app and I'd swipe from here to go back, but now, so you just swipe anywhere on the screen and that goes back. So the first 2 days it took a bit of getting used to. So yeah, this side would now be for your Google Assistant, which is it took a bit of getting used to. But the only thing I'd say is sometimes when you're actually going to, you know, use this Google Assistant, it might not show it in the video, but you'd swipe up from here and it'd actually pull up your system tray instead. As I said, it might not show it 100% of the time. It does it sometimes, and that does get annoying from time to time, especially if I don't have OK Google set up. And my other kind of dislike about Android would be, so on this phone, most phones you get now, you have this curved display. So most phones might have palm detection, and for this phone at least, what it tends to do would be it stretches kind of each app to make sure it hits those corners, which I'd say, yeah, it's nice. You know, obviously you buy a phone that's all display and you want it to be all display. You don't want to have these black boxes in each corner. But when it stretches apps like YouTube or Amazon and you're trying to, you know, navigate through the video and it's actually on this edge, it's quite annoying to actually, you know, try and navigate through that instead, where you're just tapping here and it's not responsive whatsoever.
So in making the edges kind of non-responsive so that your palm doesn't sort of start firing off applications everywhere, what they're doing really is because the screen is stretched or the applications are stretched edge to edge, it's almost like you can't navigate them because it's got the palm rejection built in. So,
Yeah.
but I guess that's probably an Android stroke, OnePlus kind of issue.
Especially when it's landscape, you'd expect it to kind of at least know not to use one side possibly.
Yeah.
But I guess not. Not right now, at least.
Okay. So guys, that's quite a comprehensive review, pros and cons. 3 weeks later, you know what it's like. You're always going to find out stuff after using these devices. So, in order to wrap up, then I guess happy.
100%.
Buy it again.
100%.
Would you ever go back to iOS and the iPhone?
What if I'm honest? I don't think I'd ever want to go back to being in that ecosystem. It did take a lot for me to kind of build up the courage to go from iPhone to OnePlus. It was something I wanted to do, just try something different. And once I kind of fully let go of that iPhone, which did take a week, whilst having this OnePlus at the same time, I don't think I'd want to go back to that ecosystem. Strong words.
So guys, that's been the 3-week update review of the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren Edition. If you've got any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section below. I'm Dave with Seen For A Lens. This is Dammit Bradley. And if you'd like to give us a shout out to your Twitch account.
So my Twitch is twitch.tv/dammitbradley.
And I will leave that in the comments section below. One question, how's the chair?
It's comfy.
Comfy. This is the Herman Miller Aeron chair. So I'm going to be bringing you a review on that chair very soon. But until then, I'm Dave with Seen For A Lens. This is
Dammit Brad.
And we will see you the next time. Bye for now.